Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2. Beto behind the net. Sweeps it in front. He's gone! Beto! Stefan Beto! And the Rangers have one more helmet climb, baby! But it's moved Vancouver! Anthony for three. Puts it in! Next by one with 8.2 remaining!
Joe Namath, number 12, has been the one big sidelight. He's come down here and he says the Jets are going to win. In fact, he doesn't even predict it. He says, I guarantee a Jet victory.
His first at-bat of the game. There's a fly ball deep to left. It's on its way. There it goes. And the Yankees are going to the World Series. Aaron Boone has hit a home run. The Yankees go to the World Series.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
That is right. 4:01. Welcome to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Michael Merlo. I'm joined by Anthony Deus, Matt Leonard, and Ross Levine on what is an absolutely wonderful day.
I don't know about that.
I'm going to give you a weather report outside in a little bit, brought to you by Pantanos. But I'll tell you one thing right now. In Queens, New York, it is sunny and beautiful. And in the Bronx, it is stormy, all right. Guys, how are we doing on this very fine Monday?
Absolutely awful.
Why is that?
Well, Yankees, on paper, go out, have a great deadline. I think they did have a good deadline regardless.
Yeah.
And they trade Joey Gallo, and now we're having the curse of Joey Gallo losing every single game so far after trading him.
The Dodgers
have won every single game somehow, and he's not doing well so far. He's like 2 hits.
That's what you get for torturing the guy.
Two hits in 4 games is more we did with
All right,
the Yankees
well,
anyway.
No. You want to go and cry to the Athletic? I can't change up my approach. Matt Carpenter comes in and does your job, and you're still crying? Shut up, dude.
Okay.
I feel bad for you to an extent. But, really.
Okay.
You could have done better.
Well, we don't have to talk about him anymore because
we don't.
He is not here.
He's not your problem
When he wins
anymore.
World Series MVP...
The bad man is gone.
Hey. When he wins World Series MVP, I'll call up and I'll have a mental breakdown over the air. Does that sound like a plan?
All right.
We're going to start with the Mets. But
Thank God.
I just saw this, and this is great. Last weekend's Mets-Braves showdown was the most-watched series in the history of SNY, averaging 462,000 viewers per game. That included 555,000 for Jacob deGrom's start on Sunday, which was the second highest viewership of a Mets game in network history.
Oh, my God.
There we go. That's big time.
And how big is the SNY market? Like, are they just in New York or the other, like, tri-state area? It's like other states?
Definitely tri-state.
I think it's tri-state, but...
That's still amazing.
Regional networks, it's tough. You know, they borders and things like that. I don't know where they cut the borders off.
Yeah.
But either way, what a weekend it was for the New York Mets. And we'll get to the Yankees, obviously. And there's a lot to get to, too. I mean, we have updates from Jets and Giants camp. I mean, the soap opera of the sports world. The NBA continues to go on. We have Kevin Durant news. But... we're going to start with the Mets, and we're going to start with the Yankees. First, the Mets, though, because what a weekend it was. I mean, if you take out 2 innings from Taijuan Walker, and you can argue he was injured for the 2 innings that he was in, and I don't think so. I just think he sucked, to be honest with you. But either way, you want to make the argument and he was injured, you can make it. Outside of 2 innings of this weekend, the Mets thoroughly dominated a team that usually dominates them, and you couldn't ask for a better weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you couldn't be happier taking 4 out of 5. I mean, that you couldn't ask for anything more than what you got. I mean, that was an incredible series. You sweep a doubleheader, which, by the way, is not easy in itself to sweep a doubleheader. I don't care who's pitching.
Right.
And the guy that I think rightfully so, because of how great Max Scherzer was in Game 2 and how great Jacob deGrom was David Peterson. Because David Peterson was outstanding in that game. Got into trouble in the first inning, but then, after that was great. The pitching was unbelievable, and they showed weaknesses in the Atlanta Braves because the Braves are a strikeout team, and the Mets exposed that with every single pitcher, outside, of course, Taijuan Walker, who I think was mentally hurt.
Yes,
mentally hurt.
I think I don't think he could pitch through that. I really don't. I think you could tell the way he was throwing. He couldn't put any step into his pitches. he never looked comfortable. It happens, it is what it is. But the other 4 pitchers looked great.
Yeah, Carrasco looked very good in that game one. He ran into trouble in the first, in the fifth or sixth inning.
The 5th inning was his rough inning.
First 2, wasn't it?
No, it was he gave up the first, the only 3 runs of the game in the 5th inning, and then he comes back in the 6th. And was dominant, gets out of it, and Buck Showalter made a point and said that was huge that he got out of that 6th. But I don't want to go too far back because Jacob deGrom, watching this guy on the mound the other day, I mean, first of all, I can't get through my brain why this guy would ever want to leave New York. We'll leave you alone until you're on the mound. He is beloved by this fan base. Beloved. Did you see the standing ovation he got for 2 straight minutes when he came on to throw his warm-up pitches as they're blasting Simple Man by
Leonard Skinner.
There we go, Leonard Skinner. I knew that. I was listening to it last night before I went to bed.
Because Jacob deGrom walked out to it.
Yes.
Any music involved with the Mets, he's a fan of.
Yes, New York is my favorite song.
Mike falls asleep to Narco by Blaster Jackson, Timmy Trumpet.
Oh, by the way.
That was electric.
That was electric. And can we just say this? Because I was watching a lot of the Yankee game yesterday because, it went on for God knows how long. It was over a 4-hour game.
Yes.
You could actually put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. That's how boring that game was and how sloppy the game was. But I'm watching it, and then I turn on the Met game, and I always knew this, but not only is the broadcast, with the broadcasters better, but the cameras, the angles, the way SNY is able to stay with, they don't go to commercial. They stayed with deGrom as every warm-up pitch. And then I love going into the top of the 9th, Narco blasting through your TV screen as if you're there. You could feel the energy through your TV screen. And obviously Edwin Diaz, who should be is a Cy Young candidate.
In my opinion, he should be at least top 10 MVP. In the National League. Top 10.
I don't know top 10 MVP. I'd have to look. But top 5 Cy Young right now?
Oh, yeah.
That's easy, I think, at this point. That's how great he's been. But SNY, great job.
Oh, so you're telling me you don't like 10-second pauses at a time during the broadcast?
It's really funny because
you're telling me you don't like bad insights.
I swear to God, I had 2.
You don't like the lack of chemistry on a broadcast? What is wrong with you?
2 times this past week, I had Yankee fans come up to me and say, I think SNY is overrated. I don't know why people don't give Michael K much praise. And I didn't even argue with them. I just laughed. I literally laughed in their face. Because it's not even close. But either way, there's so much to talk about. How great Jacob deGrom was. I mean,
unreal.
The fact that he gave up a home run, and Anthony DeComo tweeted this, the fact that he gave up a home run was so shocking because of how dominant he looked.
Mm-hmm. It was. I think that was one of those things where you're just trying to get him stretched out, and maybe that's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's part of why he gave up a home run. I mean,
he's tired. He was tired.
He was tired, and he did walk about prior to that. But look, regardless, I mean that was the only hit he gave up, and he was unbelievable. And the guy that I can't believe I'm saying this. I never thought I'd say this in my life.
Come on.
But Jolie Rodriguez, after he started 4 guys, what planet are we living in now? I mean, I never thought that was possible, but he was
So now, do you think you won the Miguel Castro trade?
I still no.
No.
I still say no.
I think so. A, Castro sucks, and B, Joely Rodriguez gave you 2 1/3 huge innings yesterday. We do have a caller on the line. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, so 1 good outing, you win the trade.
That's why I say no.
2 innings. 2 huge innings.
Okay.
Over.
I said outing.
I understand what you said. How bad has Miguel Castro been? He's been terrible.
He's been awful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're comparing crap and crap. Who cares? We have a caller on the line. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Dave from Massapequa.
Oh, here we go, Dave. Get the tissues out. Yankees, baby.
Hold on. Now, you want to talk SNY? I'm sorry.
This is one of the guys that told me.
I'm one of those guys. Keith is great. Gary Cohen, come on. What? This isn't Little League Baseball. He seems like everyone's always against the Mets. Michael Kay, when he talks about the game, he doesn't speak like as it.
That's it. That's it. He doesn't speak at all. There'll be 3 called strikes, and he won't say anything until got him.
Yes, it is.
Listen, Dave. I'm a Yankee fan. I don't know if you're seeing on Facebook Live, by the way, WHPC on Facebook Live, wearing my Yankee shirt. I shouldn't be because I'm frankly embarrassed
I
this
never
past
liked
weekend.
Michael Kay. I always thought he was an idiot until I watched his show. And he speaks the truth. He blasts the Yankees. He's not a Yankee guy that only...
I couldn't... Dave, Michael Kay was the voice of my childhood on the YES broadcast. I don't know what the hell happened after 2013, but there's been such a sharp decline there, and I can't stay. I couldn't say over the broadcast, I think YES has a better broadcast than SNY. It's just simply not true.
And part of the problem is...
I don't like Cohen at all. Cohen thinks... Even the other... Now, if you guys know baseball, the other night, and I said this to Mike, a righty, I forgot what game it was. Oh, the game when Lindor hit the big home run, when the batter before that got hit. Cohen, do you think that guy that came in facing the righty meant to hit the righty batter purposely to face the switch hitting Lindor?
This was the national game, man. And this was Shishak. And this is what I told him. I said, Shishak has hit so many Mets. Yeah, so we don't think that we don't think it's intentional, but the fact that it keeps happening, it's like, all right, buddy, we don't like you, so hitting a big home run against you there is big. He
was like a little fan, like, we got him back. Do you think he wanted to do that? That's like the fans in the stands when it's an 0-2 count, a 3-3 game with nobody on base, and then even the idiot batters too. The 9-hitter gets hit and he's ready to charge the mound. You were down 0-2 in the count. It's a 0-0 game. Do you think he wants to hit you?
Gary Cohen's the best. He's the best at what he does.
Great. Keith is great. I like Darling. As a Yankee guy, Cohen, I think Cohen sucks because all he gives you is the hit rate at 99 miles an hour. No one cares.
Are you pressing the panic button on the New York Yankees? Yes or no?
A little. Yes, I am.
Why?
Why? Because it's a part of it's bad luck, which baseball we all go through. Any move they're making is just not working.
Yeah, well,
I think Peraza has to come up. And again, this is what we talk about with these prospects. What are you saving them for? For what? You didn't want to trade them? You're in a pennant race. In 1998, Shane Spencer came up. Ricky Leday came up, and they won the most games in the regular season. And they still had to bring up the spark, and those guys came up.
I completely agree with you. And thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Peraza should be up, and we'll talk more about this with the Yankees, but I don't think there's been a worse trade in Yankee history than the IKF Josh Donaldson trade.
Yeah.
Back to the Mets, though.
You want to talk about? He was talking about bad luck for the Yankees. I mean, if you ask Spencer Strider, the Mets had some good luck yesterday.
There we go. There we go.
By the way, one last thing on the broadcast. Did you see the Kill Bill thing they did?
Who?
Where they zoomed in on Buck's face.
Oh, that was so good.
Yes.
That is the
so
Kill Bill
good.
music, right?
I have no idea, but that was so good.
Well, you're such a old school music guy, movies guy.
We should
that, right?
Justin Greenberg should tell us what it is. I'm sure he's a big Met fan. And,
you should probably know that, right?
But
because
the point
I'm
is,
the uncultured one, right?
Hey, we're not fighting here.
Okay.
There's no reason to fight. All I'm trying to say is it was a nice addition.
It was fantastic. It was fun.
It shows a sense of humor where the YES broadcast is lifeless. That's all I'm trying to say.
Lifeless.
That's a good word.
They actually, that is a perfect word. Okay, let's talk about.
It was never like that, Ross. I'm sure you could attest. When we were a lot younger, it wasn't it was exciting.
That's a big word.
It was a little bit better. It was better than it was now.
Yeah,
I'm admitting that. I'm admitting it. I'm just. By the way, when I mentioned about broadcast, like. I do like Gary, okay? I do like Gary Cohen. However, I feel like when I watch a game, and like let's say the Mets play, let's say the Braves, or let's say the Mets play whoever, he is so much for the other team. Like I just feel like I'm watching like the other team's broadcast. It's like, unless something good happens to the Mets, I could see the excitement for the Mets. But when it's like, when they get a base hit the other way, the other team, it's like he's like, great hit. That's a great, hit. Like,
because they're not trying to be biased. That's fine.
I'm fine with them not being biased. You want to hear a quick funny story?
Yeah.
I'm going to call somebody out that I work with Dave, not Dave. So there's this kid. He pitched for the Nassau baseball team. So when we did the baseball broadcast, I forget what month it was, but I did one game. I did play-by-play.
I remember this.
And this kid I knew I worked with, I call him, a colleague. He was pitching. And he gave up 2 bombs to this one kid.
I was sitting next to Mike during this. If there was a wall, this would have been 50 feet past the wall. There were no walls in the field. It was just an empty baseball field.
Yes. So
wow, that was a bomb.
This kid hit it. It was went so far. So I reacted. My first time doing baseball play-by-play, I reacted as you should, especially with no fence.
Exactly.
So I'm talking this kid up. It literally kept going.
And it rolled for like another 10 feet.
And the kid was a big guy, too, so he didn't make it home. He only had like a triple out of one of them.
He was the power guy.
But whatever. So I see the kid like a few months after. He goes, dude, you completely killed me. He goes, my dad and girlfriend were listening to the broadcast. They're like, you made it seem like I was terrible. And I was like...
You threw a bad pitch, man.
I'm like, the kid hit nukes. Anyway.
Nukes.
That's that. And
baseball's hard to broadcast is what you're trying to say, right?
Well, no, I was being completely unbiased, and they were like, you got to be more biased to the
There's always going to be someone telling you you're doing it wrong. That's what it is.
I was so unbiased, and I was happy I was unbiased. Anyway, 516-572-7440 is the number to join. You can listen to us on your smart speaker. Just play, hey, Alexa, play WHPC, 9.3
You want to do that again?
And you can, what?
You want to do that again?
What? No, I said it backwards, but I corrected myself already.
All right.
And you could also watch us on Facebook Live, which I would recommend.
If you want to
doing.
see Mike's beautiful face, turn on Facebook Live.
I would recommend doing that. I always have a camera in my face. Anyway, let's get back to Spencer Strider. I don't really care if I'm saying it right because he is irrelevant to the New York Mets. Spencer, whatever, Strider was...
Spencer Mustache.
After the game, complaining that the New York Mets are lucky and things just happen to be going their way after he could not get out of the third inning yesterday. Excuse me. Spencer, this is the first time you haven't made it through... Second time, you haven't made it past the fifth inning. I would probably shut your mouth and take your mustache and shove it up your ass because you're not very good when you play the Mets. Let's talk about luck in baseball because I absolutely hate this. The analytical nerds will tell you, oh, the Mets aren't hitting the ball hard. They're getting very lucky. Well, I have an answer for you nerds. The New York Mets are creating their own luck. You know why? Because they don't strike out that much and they hit ground balls and they make the defense work and they make you make plays. And they hustle out infield hits, and they get on base. Right there are the reasons why the New York Mets are scoring more runs, and I don't care that their hard hit rate is down. I don't care that they're not barreling up balls. They're scoring runs, and they're winning games. So the nerds can please politely shut up. And the luckiness of the team, I don't really care. Because they're winning, and it's continuing to happen. And by the way, if we play the Braves again, I'm sure that their infield will make the errors that they made again, because they're not very good defensively. I can't believe Matt Olson was this great defensive first baseman in Oakland. This guy, in 10 games the Mets have played, has looked like a butcher boy out there. So that's my rant.
Do you think it has to do with pressure? Because he never played exactly big games in Oakland.
I don't know. I mean, they played playoff games. I don't know, but either way,
this is way bigger.
Dude has such a whack stance too.
Matt Olson. It's out there. It's definitely out there.
I thought you were talking about Strider because I should say Strider. It's
Strider.
It's Strider. I should say if I'm going to say it wrong, I should say it consistently, but I'll say it right. Strider. You see the way he holds they're perpendicular to each other. So the left foot's pointing toward the mound, and the other one is completely pointing toward third base. If you're watching Facebook Live, I have a hurt wrist, but it's like this.
Well, they know what perpendicular means, I hope.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know what it meant. So
he used it correctly.
I know. I just heard it on the broadcast yesterday, so I just got to listen. Anyway, I hurt my wrist, by the way. My wrist.
How'd you hurt your wrist?
I don't know. I must have slept on it because it really hurts.
Slept on it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's in a lot of pain.
Baby.
I know. I couldn't really move it today at all. I can't even go on my. I can't really hold my phone.
Oh no! He can't hold his phone.
How do you play Wordle?
I don't play Wordle anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
We have the Wordle today if you want it.
I don't know. Why would you spoil it for people that want to play?
No, it's a joke. It's a callback to the promo that was played.
Oh yeah, the promo that I was in. Yes.
No, it's okay. We're inflating your ego. It should be all right.
Anyhow, the New York Mets and their ability to put the ball in play, not to strike out, is very similar to a couple of teams. Right. Number one, I would say the Astros, especially when they were winning, when they beat the Yankees in 2017 and in 2019 as well, they were putting the ball in play. I think they were the bottom of strikeout percentage.
Yeah, around there.
They were not striking out. They're putting the ball in play. And
I got a good comp for you.
I know what it's going to be.
Okay.
It's going to be the 2015 Kansas City Royals.
That's exactly right.
And if you look at the really nerdy stats, which I will not give you, I mean, the really, I don't even know what half of the stats mean. Like, that's how bad they are, but they're very
Are
similar.
we talking like BABIP and all that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Like that. I liked it on Twitter. But either way, they're very similar to that Royals team. And the thing about this Mets lineup, and we argued about the Mets lineup, whether or not they needed bats forever. I mean, for months we argued about it. And they added bats, and they added a great platoon, I think. And they gave a great manager, Buck Showalter, options. And we saw that throughout the weekend, where he was using guys left and right. He would take Vogelback and put him against a righty if he was on the bench. Same thing with Ruff with a lefty. Naquin came into the game as well. I love what Buck did over the weekend. He was really treating this almost like a playoff game in a playoff series. So I thought that was excellent. But my point is, the New York Mets don't have that great hitter where you're just like a Judge. They don't have that guy where you're petrified to face him. I mean, you don't want to face Lindor the way he's going. We're going to get to Lindor in a minute. And you don't want to face Alonso at times.
Yeah, but I guess your deterrent should be Alonso.
Yes, but here's my point. The New York Mets are a very stingy lineup that many pitchers should not want to face because they make you work. They make you work harder than any other lineup because they see the most pitches. So you're throwing a great pitch and they're fouling it off, or they're taking a really good pitch. The whole lineup, 1 through 8, needle swings and everything, 1 through 8, they really are very stingy at the plate, and they're a tough out. And pitchers do not want to face that. So maybe pitchers would want to face them because they don't have that big-time power hitter.
Yeah.
But you don't want to face them because they'll tire you out.
Yeah, that's the thing. They tire you out. And they are one of, and just these are the few players that are, for an example, Vogelback always gives you a good at bat.
Oh my God,
he has a great eye.
Great eye.
Nimmo has a fantastic eye, and even to a stretch, Lindor's gotten better.
I've noticed that recently, especially with the way he's been hitting. He's been unbelievable.
Yeah.
Since this stretch that he's been on, since really July, he has really been taking really good pitches and walking a little bit more.
He's working the count. He's getting good pitches to hit. That's what it is.
Yeah, even Alonso, good at bats all the time.
I can't say that.
No, but
we've seen no.
Bats. Yeah.
I agree with Ross. We've seen that throughout the year. Inconsistent at times, but we've seen really good at bats from him.
Yeah, and look, I understand he had the 53 home run season in 2019. I think he's a better hitter this year.
I would definitely agree with that.
Because, and yes, he may not hit, he's probably not going to hit 53 home runs, although you never know the way he's going. He is able to put the ball the other way, hit it the opposite field, and he's doing what the defense is giving them. I don't think you would have saw that in 2019. I really don't.
No, he's driving in more runs. He'll drive in more runs than he did in 2019. He'll hit, 10, 12 home runs less. Who cares? He's going to hit 40, I think.
Yeah. It's about the production. It's not about the ball going out of the ballpark.
He's been great. You cannot complain with what Alonso has done. And let's get to Francisco Lindor because he's been unbelievable. I mean, his OPS is over 800. He's driven in a ton of guys. He's a homer away from 20. I mean, he's inches away from his 20th home run on Saturday afternoon in the first game. It's really crazy how much the tide has turned, and we've really gotten on him so much. I mean, he faced a ton of heat last season, at times this season, and I think he really deserves to be praised for how he's played this season.
Yeah, I agree. He's been I've gotten on him because a lot of big at bats he always seemed to fail. Like it was just every good opportunity he failed, and that's why I got on so much. And it's not even really all his fault in the sense of the contract. That's a lot of people are always going to point to the contract that Lindor got, and that's just the fact, and that's just the way it is until that contract is over. But here's what I will say though is he's a guy that is starting to produce with guys on base, and that's something that he struggled with last season. He could not do it, and I think last year he was asked to be a true captain of the team or a true leader of the team, and I think that was a lot for him. First year in New York, first year, with everything, and I think that had a lot to do with it. And now he's more comfortable because he has more veterans around him, and he's also not being asked to carry them, which I think that's big. Now, I do still think the best version of the New York Mets is when Lindor's going.
Yes.
When Lindor is going, the Mets are going. When Lindor and Pete are going, they're really going. Yeah. So if that continues, they will score a lot of runs, and I think Lindor, and look, Lindor's going to pass Jose Reyes for the most RBIs in his history. It won't even be close at the end of the year.
He'll have the best season I think a Mets shortstop has ever had. I'm pretty
Probably.
sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. And also, he's a guy where last year the fans also got on him, because not only that he wasn't producing, the Baez, Lindor, whole thumbs down type of thing, which was really bad last year. And, I think this year he's used to New York. It's his second year. And now he's on a contract, where the contract last year didn't even start. So
That's true.
Remember last season, too, Lindor right out of the gate from really when the All-Star break came, like a week or two before then, and then right after the All-Star break, right before he got hurt. He was playing very well, and then got hurt, and that kind of derailed the season. Came back, though, and hit when he came back, and was just a little streaky, especially in the middle of this season. And Gary and Keith were talking about it, too, about the injury to his finger when he closed his finger in the door in L.A. before the first game. And this guy, is outside of that game, plays every single day. I think outside of sitting that day and maybe a DH spot here or there, he plays shortstop every day, and you gotta love that.
And his defense is unbelievable. I mean, you cannot complain with the defense.
No. There are times he'll screw up, but most of the time he's very reliable.
So good. So good.
They have one of the best middle infield defenses in baseball, with Guillorme at second base and Lindor at shortstop. It is a great defensive team.
And then when you put Guillorme at third and put even McNeil at second, who's not bad there either. Pete's improved. They have a really great defensive infield.
Guillorme, and I know it means relatively nothing, but they need to find a way to get this guy a Gold Glove.
He's so good with his hands and everything, really, at any position he plays.
He's good with his hands. All right. Anywho, 427, you are listening to WHPC Sports Talk. You're on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Michael Merlo. I've got Anthony Deus, Matt Leonard, and Ross Levine. The phone number to join, 516-572-7440. Your WHPC weather forecast powered by Pantano's Gourmet in Hewlett, Uniondale, and Garden City Park. Right now, it is currently 89 degrees. It feels like 97 out there. There's a heat advisory tonight. Should get to around 78. But either way, it is putrid out there. I mean, it sucks. So hopefully,
very hot.
Makes you miss football weather.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah!
Please, I cannot.
October. Beautiful month.
The fall. I can't wait for the season to change. Not the baseball season, just the actual season to change. But
can I give you one final Mets point that I wanted to bring up?
Yes.
All right. So and it relates to the Yankees in a way, if you want to take it there.
Okay.
But what I was gonna say was Edwin Diaz, the whole narco, the trumpets blasting. This is a hot take, and a lot of people are going to get mad at me.
Shut up. Don't even go there. Shut up. Shut up. 1 year. No. You're not even going to get it. I'm not even going to let you say it. I'm not even going to let you say it because it's so stupid. It is so stupid. You had 1 year, and listen, Edwin Diaz is having a great year, but this is the same song he'd come out to where he'd give up a home run to JT Realmuto when it was like 2 outs, okay? We remember the Francesa clip. Oh, my God, I can't believe he gave it up. We all remember it. It's 1 year of success. It's cool. I'm giving you credit. Narco is a cool song, and he looks like a beast walking out to it. But it is 1 year of success. It is not as iconic as Enter Sandman. So shut up. Shut up. We get it. You have a hate fetish for the Yankees. Shut up.
Can you calm down?
Yeah.
All I was going to say is Edwin Diaz deserves a Cy Young vote. No, I'm kidding. It's just the greatest closer entrance of all time. It is. It really is.
There you go. There it is. Right there. Anyhow,
he's on. I mean, I can't believe I can actually say this about Edwin Diaz, but the guy is unhittable. I mean,
no one can touch him.
Nobody can touch him, and it's. I can't believe the words are coming right out of my mouth that I actually trust Edwin Diaz. I can't believe I'm actually saying that.
Yeah.
And the guy that I also, on the Mets bullpen, which I can't believe I'm saying this, is Adam Ottavino. I can actually trust him a little bit more now. I can't believe actually I'm saying these words right now because I still think they need one more reliever. I do not
it's
like
not going to happen now.
I know, and I do not like Michael Givens. Please, I do not like him, but I do like Ottavino. I do like, especially I love Edwin Diaz. He is awesome.
Maybe Trevor May can give them something too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Aside from the home run, his stuff did look pretty good in that Saturday night game when he came in. So hopefully he can just clean that up. He's still coming back. By the way, last thing, Mets schedule. I mean, I'm sure we'll get to this in the next couple of days. They got the Reds for 3 now, and then they've got the Phillies for 3, and then the Braves for 4 on the road, then at the Phillies for 4, and then at the Yankees for 2. So that's a nice little tough stretch here. The next, I think,
don't the Dodgers come to town right after that?
End of the month.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there.
If you look at September, though, I mean, God willing, is pretty easy.
Very easy. We'll see what happens, though. Okay, the Yankees. And we were just talking about closers and bullpen guys, and I think we should start right here. First of all, last 44 games, Yankees are 21-23. Oof. That's a long stretch of not being very good.
No.
And
yes, it is.
I think they got a problem. I think they've had a problem for a couple of weeks now in the bullpen, but Holmes is becoming a problem.
Yeah, he is horrendous. I can't believe I'm saying these words, but he is not good.
He was about as unhittable, if not more, than Diaz for the first half of the season, easily.
He's bad. He is really bad. And look, you could definitely see the loss of Michael King. That is a significant loss.
Let me ask you this quick: do you think King would have taken over the closer role if he didn't get hurt?
I think he would have been a setup guy. I don't think he would have closed.
No, he was the setup guy.
He's a much better setup guy. He can go multiple innings. You need that. You need to go 7 or 8.
And King had a little bit of a stretch too, where he wasn't all that great either. So,
but he fixed himself before he got hurt.
He fixed himself, but not a lot of guys you can trust. And I know it's his first start as a New York Yankee. I understand that.
Say you were right, Ross. Just say it.
He's not right. He's not right. He's not right. He's not right. Guy's mother-in-law dies, and he's put into a start. It's 1 start, Ross.
I know. He
didn't have bad stuff. He had a bad start. It's all right.
How long of a leash do you give the guy? I'm just asking him.
Well, I mean, you traded for him. What are you going to do?
Well,
what the hell are you going to do with him if he gives you bad starts? You're going to cut him? You're going to DFA him? What the hell are you going to do? Move him to the bullpen?
Well,
what are you going to do? You're stuck with him.
Ross didn't say any of this.
I'm just
okay. What do you mean by leash?
He said, how much of a leash do you give him? What do you mean by that?
What's the next step if he continues to stink it up?
The point I'm trying to make, and yes, it is 1 start, and I think he will bounce back, and I think he'll be very good.
He better bounce back.
He will bounce back. Well, if I'm wrong, then the Yankees are in big trouble. But look, he had a 4-1 lead.
Yeah.
And in a blink of an eye, he blew it. I think that's a little bit of a problem. That's just my opinion. But there's obviously bigger problems. But look, if he is not good 3 starts from now, he has a 4-start stretch where he has a 5 ERA or something like that, yes, I will have concerns about that. And yes, I will be somewhat proven right because of what I said about Sonny Gray. I will just leave it at that.
Not everyone can pitch in New York, but I hope he bounces back for their sake.
I hope Montes bounces back. I'm just saying, remember Sonny Gray. That's it.
The thing about Montes is that he was on the bereavement list, so he had a little bit of extended time before coming back. I think it was over a week, so he was on a pitch count yesterday. But he's also coming off an injury. I think a month ago he was on the IL or something with a shoulder problem. Yes. So that's also something you got to watch out for. I'm not saying the trade, I praised the trade. I thought, last week when I came back, I'm like, this is a good trade. This is a good thing for the Yankees to go get a 2 or 3 starter to put it right up there with Cole. But not a good start. Not a good start to your Yankee career.
If the Clay Holmes implosion continues, and I hope he figures himself out because he was so dominant and fun to watch when he was going well. If it continues, who do you put in the 9th inning in the postseason?
I don't know.
Chapman?
I think you still roll with him.
Really?
I think he's your best. I mean, unless it gets to a point where you literally cannot put him into games.
I'm not giving Chapman the role over I mean, it may become a problem. It hasn't been good for the last few outings.
Yeah.
But I still have faith in a bad or sort of a slumping Clay Holmes over than Aroldis Chapman, 2022 Aroldis Chapman.
516-572-7440. Yankee fans, what are your feelings right now on the bullpen, on the team, after getting swept out of St. Louis? By the way, that Saturday night game. I can't believe this. It was their best-selling game ever, like
in the history of Busch Stadium, the new Busch Stadium.
History of new Busch Stadium. So more than any World Series game. More than the All-Star game that they had there.
Oh my God,
that's incredible! And I saw the game on the schedule earlier last week, and I said that's a big ticket game. I'm like, that's big. The Yankees, the Cardinals. I mean, it's a great uniform watch.
It is,
and 2 good, solid teams. I didn't think it'd be that big.
Let me ask you another question regarding that. It's a nationally televised game.
As it should be.
Your new hot shot left fielder is not starting.
Andrew Benintendi.
Yes.
Oh.
And you're facing Jordan Montgomery that day. That was that day, right?
There are a lot of problems I'm having right now with the New York Yankees, and I'm not sounding either. It's not code red right now. It's not code red. Nor should any Yankee fan be like, oh, we're not. This is really, we're in a really bad spot. Things haven't been great right now. What are you writing down?
That I'm just going to bring up that second game was horrendously bad.
What do you write? No, let me see this.
It says become a Met fan.
Oh, it's the contract again? He's giving you the out?
Those are my notes for the show.
I can't even rip this up because it's like stuff we're getting to later. Otherwise, I would rip it. Actually, you know what I'll do? Fetch.
Okay, so now I gotta get up and get that. So, if you don't understand the joke,
Anthony threw Mike's notes across the room.
No, so when the Yankees were struggling early in the year, I did this where I said, Anthony, do you want to become a Yankee fan? I said, sign on the dotted line.
Become a Mets fan.
Excuse me. And then he did the same thing to me when the Mets lost the Jason Castro game to the Astros when they lost 2-0. And he did the same thing to me, and I ripped up the piece of paper and I threw it at the wall over here. But so that's what that was.
Right now, I wouldn't blame you. Even record. So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Anywho, quick, can I say something?
Go ahead. It's all right.
Yeah, I got to say this. So I've seen a lot of Yankee fans complaining, rightfully so. I mean, listen, you're dealing with injuries. Stanton's hurt. Rizzo did not play all weekend. Those are big losses, huge losses to your lineup. I completely agree. Mm-hmm. But at times to look so pathetic, like you're just waiting for Aaron Judge or DJ LeMahieu to do something, like that can't happen. Like the lineup is still good. Gleyber Torres is having a bounce back season. You traded for Andrew Benintendi, and we're very excited about him, and he's done nothing since he got here.
Yeah.
You have major league players on this roster, and they were not performing while guys were out.
Well, here's the thing. The game when Montgomery pitched on Saturday, that was horrendous.
Pathetic.
I mean, it was pathetic. You give up one run the first inning and then you lose by that score. It's not a good look for the New York Yankees, especially the guy that you just got rid of in Jordan Montgomery, who a lot of Yankee players and the castmen, I guess, were not in love with Jordan Montgomery. I guess. Well, Montgomery just got his revenge a little bit in his one start against the New York Yankees. But yesterday, look, you can't complain with the line. They scored 9 runs yesterday. The offense was fine yesterday. The issue was the bullpen and Montas. That was the issue. And the guy that came in to give the home run to Paul DeJong, the guy that they acquired. I think that's the guy the Yankees
Scott
acquired.
Frost.
Yeah, that's not great. Not what you want, as Joe Girardi likes to say.
Not what you want, Joe Girardi.
Not what you want. Not great. Not a great return so far. And by the way, I have to bring this up because everybody loves to hate on Joey Gallo, and rightfully so. Gallo was awful for the New York Yankees. 150 hitter, 160 hitter, whatever what he was. Yankees are 0-5. Since he's left. 0-5. I'm just saying the facts. Nothing
not
against
good.
Gallo,
all right.
But
I have a question for Anthony about the Yankees. So, a lot of Yankee fans all over Twitter are saying this, and I disagree with it strongly. Do you have any interest in Didi Gregorius now he's a free agent?
Oh, God.
So many Yankee fans are like, bring back Didi, replace IKF. And I'm like, what is wrong with you?
If I see one more time on TikTok, one of the they play the sad music like a song that
when I'm lonely I sit and think about you thing,
right? Like it'll be like a sad song about missing somebody. Then they put highlights of Didi. For the love of God, please, do I sit here and put up highlights of Asdrubal Cabrera missing Asdrubal Cabrera?
Do I walk home against Hector Neris and the Phillies? No.
Do I put up videos of me missing Mike Pelfrey from 15 years ago? I mean, come on,
Bobby Parnell,
please.
John Neese.
With the Didi Gregorius, please. He's been the worst player, arguably, all season long. He can't defend anything. He can't hit a lick. Please.
I can't stand the Phillies, but, man, they've been good since they fired their manager. I hate saying that, but that's just a fact. And
we'll see them this weekend.
Do we know if Syndergaard pitched this weekend, by the way? Do we know that yet?
Yes.
Yes?
No, when you go to Philly, he pitches.
Oh, because I don't know if he's going to pitch this weekend.
Anthony's already done the math on that. He's excited
wow,
to see
okay.
that.
I need to address something right now.
Yeah, please do it.
So I want to play a quick game called "Let's Use Your Brain," like a normal. Like,
wait, can you just explain how to play that game again? Because I actually don't know how to play it.
What is? Yeah, you clearly you don't. You got a peanut for a head.
Peanut
for a brain.
See, that's weird.
See, I said a peanut for a head and I screwed it up.
Yep, there you go.
Use your brain.
Listen, it's just. So the hitter you just acquired that is batting around 300 this year,
And
right?
wearing his old number.
Shut up. We're not on Didi anymore. Where the hell are you? Regardless.
Go on.
Your 300 hitter that you just acquired, right? You'd figure, okay, I understand DJ's having a good stretch right now, but wouldn't you put your 300 hitter up at leadoff first?
Yes.
And then put DJ fifth or sixth?
No, DJ's been too good. DJ's been too good.
Hold on. But then when Benintendi comes up to bat and he's on base, you have absolute automatic outs right behind him. What would you rather have? Your 300 hitter leading off, so Judge has him right next, and I understand DJ's batting like 271 right now. But it just seems common sense. You move DJ down the lineup and put Benintendi up in a spot where he can succeed better, because he's struggling right now.
Yeah.
That's why you don't bat him first, though.
It's a change of scenery besides going, I'm getting on base. Oh, Aaron Hicks.
Why
Innings
would
over.
I'm saying you let him heat up at the bottom of the lineup in less high-leverage situations. Then if he really heats up, you put him with leadoff. Fine.
Why would I bat a guy brand new to New York struggling in the leadoff spot?
Well, why the hell are you batting Josh Donaldson fourth?
I don't know, but I'm definitely not putting Benintendi first.
All right, well,
I'm not batting leadoff.
I'll disagree to disagree. I mean, he should be leading off.
Agree to disagree.
Use your brain. Play the game.
Regardless. I'd like to ask Aaron Boone a question. All year you've made these insane-ass lineups that make absolutely no sense.
Different one every night, it seems like.
Why the hell are you still listening to the computers? And I want to know what type of machines are telling you to do this. Is this like a Macintosh from 1985 that's computing these lineups for you? Because they're asinine. They're so stupid.
Can I have my pen back?
Sorry. Well, you should call. He's like IKF out in the field. He can't catch anything.
That's got to be the worst trade in one of the worst trades in Yankee history.
Right.
Not because.
And I said this at the beginning of the year. You to take on $25 million of Josh Donaldson's salary.
Not only for this season, but for next year, too.
For next year, for IKF, who you expect to be a gold glove at shortstop. He's obviously not a gold glove. So the whole trade is ass backwards. You're bringing out Josh Donaldson, who can't hit. I understand he went 2 for 4 in the first game. Who cares? He's awful. I don't think anybody in the locker room likes him anyways.
Fully healthy lineup. He's not starting in the playoffs.
So you're bringing him, and I understand. And I really wish the Pablo Lopez trade went through, if those rumors are true. So, which it seems almost
they're not true.
Real.
Cashman's not stupid enough to do that.
What?
No, I don't think any general manager in sports is stupid enough to do that.
Donaldson and Hicks for Lopez.
No. But what?
That was the rumor.
That was not the rumor. No.
That was the rumor?
Donaldson and Hicks for...
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's an idiot for not doing that if that was on the table.
You're listening to Ballsack Sports if that was the rumor.
Regardless, there was phone calls made. So it would have been nice.
I can easily say this. It was not for Hicks and...
There
were prospects being sent that way.
Oh, you didn't say that.
Oh.
No, the guy that they were talking about was Glaber and prospects.
Which would have been
That's what was talked about for Lopez.
That wouldn't have been awful.
I can't stand these lineups anymore. They just don't make sense.
Well, this is the first, but you guys and listen, it's been a tough stretch. I understand that. And I'm not saying being spoiled.
Hold on. And we're missing Stanton. We're missing Rizzo.
Exactly.
I'm fully aware of that. But the bottom half of this lineup is absolutely, absolutely tragic.
But here's the thing. Didn't you think... Is it surprising that Stanton got hurt this year? He always gets hurt every year. Like, don't you think that was kind of expected? Like, that always happens every year.
And now a month. And on top of this now, you're down an outfielder, so you're playing Marwin Gonzalez or Carpenter out there who...
He's not in right, which is terrible for him.
Cannot field. He's another butcher boy out there. But you traded for an outfielder. You traded a fifth starter right now. With the starting staff is not good right now. And Herman was not bad Saturday going up against Monty, but you trade Montgomery for a guy that's not coming back. All he's going to do is create more of a logjam out there in the outfield until September.
I didn't like the trade. It's not a good trade. And look, Cashman's made some good trades this year. I didn't like that one. I just didn't. I was not a fan of that one.
Bader's, we understand. Bader's great. He's great at what he does.
But he's hurt, and that's the thing. I'm never a fan of getting guys that are hurt unless you know for a fact that the guy's going to be just as good when he comes back. I mean, look, leg injuries, they're always scary, but
especially with speed guys like Bader.
For speed guys, and look, Montgomery. Say what you want, he was a pretty good third, fourth starter for the New York Yankees. That's just what it is. I understand they didn't give him a lot of run support, but that's not his fault. And he was a good pitcher. I understand. And look, I guess players were not in love with him. I guess, but I'm sorry, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's not a good trade.
And it's not that he was so fantastic. It was just that right now, especially right now, you need depth guys with Severino out and Tyone, who has not been good. So that's why you need him. And by the way, I think the Yankees losing 2 out of 3 this series.
Yes, I was going to say. Tomorrow, of course, we're going to face Luis Castillo. And
against
Garrett
Cole.
Cole. Against Garrett Cole. Again. Garrett Cole leading the majors in home run. Not leading, but he's fourth in home runs given up with 21 so far this year. So I'm really excited to see how things go. I was really hopeful that the Yankee lineup would drop within the hour. It's not, because it's a 9 o'clock game.
They play at 10, so I'm guessing the lineup won't come out for another 3 hours or so.
I wish, because it's probably something stupid.
What do we think is going to be the higher number? Garrett Cole homers allowed by the time October hits, or his salary in millions of dollars?
Wow.
Ooh.
I'll say his salary millions of dollars.
I'm going with the salary, too. I have faith he'll turn it around.
Listen, I've defended Cole for a long time, especially to other Yankee fans. But I'm starting to get the sense, all right, this guy, especially since the Spider Attack, he's given up homers. Homers have been a problem.
Yeah.
I'm not fully confident in him. He's your one, I get it, but his ERA is 3.50. I don't fully trust this guy.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100%. I shouldn't say. I'm not 100% confident in him right now.
Right, and the Yankees are on an extremely rough stretch right now.
And by the way, you lose tonight. Logan Gilbert's pitching. He's one of their better starters, the Mariners. Let's say they lose tonight. Tomorrow, he's going up against their ace. You're the Yankees' ace. Yeah. You're trying to stop now what it would be a 6-game losing streak.
Yep.
You got to be the stopper. That'll be big. Tomorrow will be big. I'm not going to be here, unfortunately.
Let me just read you the stretch really quickly. So after they play 3 in Seattle, they play 3 at Fenway. They're back home against the Rays, back home against the Blue Jays, which they're doing very well.
Blue Jays are coming back.
They're on fire.
And then you play the Mets again, who the Mets, after against Atlanta, I'm actually fear we're going to lose the whole season series to them.
Yeah, well, the Mets only need to win one more.
You're saying sweep the season?
Oh,
wow. You said lose, but sweep is worse.
I think I just don't have any faith with Garrett Cole as much as I used to. I mean, look, he's still a very good pitcher, but that Spire Tech thing concerns me.
Also,
it just does.
Another thing on Garrett Cole, now that you bring it up, what the hell is this now? Last year you were complaining about, I can't have Gary catch. Gary Sanchez can't catch me. I need Kyle Higashioka to catch me. I can't have Kyle Higashioka catch me this year. You are, it's diva mode. It's almost...
He's a head case.
It's diva-ish.
Speaking of divas, and by the way, just very quickly, the Yankees' high point, they beat Toronto on June 19th. They were 49-16. Since then, like I said, 21-23. Their batting OPS in that span, third best. Their relief ERA, seventh best, has gone down with the injuries and things like that. Their rotation ERA since then, 26th. The starters have been the problem, and now injuries as well. You are listening to WHPC Sports Talk here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Michael Merlo. I've got Anthony Deus, I've got Matt Leonard, and I've got Ross Levine. 516-572-7440 is the number to join. You can catch us on Facebook Live as well if you're not listening on the radio or a smart speaker or your smartphone. Facebook Live at 90.3 WHPC if you want to see our beautiful faces. The Brooklyn Nets have got a big-time problem on their hands.
They've had a problem for a long time.
They have.
The Brooklyn Nets have a nearly 7-foot problem on their hand, and that is Kevin Durant.
I'm very indifferent. So Durant, the news broke a couple hours ago that Durant is going to make Joe Tsai, the terrible owner of the Brooklyn Nets, make a decision. He wants Marks and Steve Nash out for him to consider coming back.
Wow.
By the way, I would kick Nash to the curb right this minute. Like, not even think about it. Like, okay, bye. He's a terrible coach. But Marks, I would seriously give thought, and I want to get your opinions on it before we talk a little football.
First of all, I think Nash had been fired right after that series. I thought he was done. That's number one. He got the coach for the Celtics. Ime
Udoka.
Yeah, yep. He ran circles around Steve Nash. That was horrendous. He got completely outcoached. And look, this is what I'll say about coaches in general when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets. I don't think anybody should take that job. Anybody that's high quality should take that job. Because guess what? If Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant do not want a head coach, because that's what it is, they do not want a head coach, which, by the way, they do need because they are terrible, then guess what? I think they need to just clean house. And what I mean by clean house, I mean the coach could go, and the players need to go. And they need to blow this up and start over. Because this will not work out at the end of the day.
So, you know what the ironic part is? Kyrie and KD wanted Kenny Atkinson out.
Yeah.
They wanted him out. So they bring in Steve Nash because
he's Kyrie's godfather or whatever.
Because he's a pushover. Now you're telling me after how many years? It's been 3-ish years now?
Steve Nash got to be 2.
Just 2 or 3 years now. Oh, we don't want him? Well, it looks like you need some structure with the way basketball works out. Shocking idea, right? You can't just be running around in circles for the whole time. Your coach looks like a lost dog out there.
And that's like an NBA Hall of Famer. I thought it would work out, but no, it does not.
Why would it work out? He's had no coaching experience.
The way he played the game when he was a player, I really thought he'd be a decent coach. Not great. I'm not talking coach of the year in his first season, but I thought he'd be decent enough.
Regardless, I think that's best interest, or even Joe Tsai's best interest, even though he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. Absolutely can Steve Nash. Steve Nash shouldn't have been hired in the first place.
No.
Sean Marks should have put his foot down saying, no, you're not doing that.
I saw the greatest tweet about this, and it is, I'm looking at the picture right now. I'll show you guys the picture. It's a picture of Phil Jackson and Derek Fisher together. And it says, hey, Nets, these guys are available.
Yeah, I don't even think that Sean Marks did a terrible job. I think he made the moves he needed to make. It's all on the players and coaching. That's all it is.
They run the organization when he should be the one in charge. That's what it is.
But I think you have to put your foot down.
Hold on.
You can't let it's gotten to a point where basketball management has no say in anything.
The commissioner's got to do something about this.
The players run the teams, especially when you're this big. That's what happens. And when the Brooklyn Nets, gave KD and Kyrie not only contracts, but contract extensions like they did with Kevin Durant, they realized that this was changing. This was going to be different. That we were going to have to give in to players a little bit more, and they haven't fully bought into that. And whether you agree with that or not, because I don't agree with it, that's the way the league's going. And the Brooklyn Nets have not done that. Therefore, now they want to leave. They're being half pregnant. Like, they want these guys to be here, but at the same time, they don't want to completely give up any control. They still want to run this team, and you have to listen to your guys, especially when you have superstars like this. And again, I don't agree with it, but that's the way the league's gone. The Nets have to make a huge decision here.
Here's an alternative idea. If you're Sean Marks, you call in KD and you go, listen, we're going to get rid of Steve Nash, right?
But he doesn't respect Sean Marks.
Remember when Aaron Rodgers did this, and they somehow fixed the relationship?
They fixed it. This is what I'm saying. Listen, I know that if I'm Sean Marks, I go, listen, I know our relationship is very rocky at this point. We're going to can Steve Nash, but Kyrie's gone too, because it's not working out between the both of you.
Well, Kyrie wants to be here. Like, Kyrie's playing this season. Kyrie
cost this franchise games.
Yeah.
Even before the vaccination stuff, going out, disappearing for parties. Are you kidding me? Any other owner would put their foot down saying, you're gone. Any general manager would be like, you're gone. Anybody with the sense of right and wrong would say, you're not disappearing. We're paying you money to play games, and you're going out. By the way, during the pandemic, before the vaccines were really being rolled out with a massive group of people. So he comes back into that locker room, just the potential of spreading COVID. And getting games shut down too. And I'm not trying to bring out the past here. It's just asinine and stupid that you let them get this too much.
We know he's a head case, Kyrie, but he has to come back. And by the way, I think if the Nets, with what they've done this offseason, if they were able to bring both of these guys back with the additions they've made, plus guys coming back as well, like Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, I think they're going to win the NBA championship. As if everything
so that everybody comes back and plays well.
Yes, I think
that's not going to happen.
I think they're going to win the NBA championship. They're that good.
I agree with you. Everything has to break perfectly right,
and the
odds of that are so low.
Yeah, and I already know it's not. This will not end well. I just know
it can't. There's no way.
It's not. It's definitely not going to end well, and I don't think they're ever winning a championship.
They should blow it up because the picks they'll get back for both Kyrie and KD.
Oh my God!
You Hicks and play. You listen. Kyrie
you're going to get so much back. You're going to set yourself up for the future. You could be like what the Thunder are now. You're building for the future.
The Nets,
sell off everything. Promise your season ticket holders. Listen, this didn't work out. We're going to build for the future. We're going to do this the right way.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Within 4 or 5 years,
but Mike, that's the business decision.
Good luck with that.
Things aren't going to work out if they return.
They have already committed to a roster filled with stars for this season. Okay, so they have Kyrie on the team. He's locked in. That's it. They're not trading him. They are not trading Kyrie. He will be here. Ben Simmons back. The guys I talked about: T.J. Warren, Royce O'Neal. These guys are here. Seth Curry, like I said,
Royce O'Neal got traded
to the Nets.
I thought he was traded to the Jazz.
No, he's traded
from the Nets.
Jazz to Nets.
My bad.
They have a legit roster right now, so they're going to trade for. If they trade Kevin Durant, which by the way is going to be impossible because it's going to take a king's ransom to do so.
They're asking for Devin Booker from the Suns. That's just their asking price is so high.
They're going to bring an elite level player back, another role player, and then they are going to bring picks with that as well. And I don't think it's possible to make a trade for him because I just think they want too much and teams are not going to give that up. Plus, the season ticket is a completely different thing because they screwed over their fans. They locked fans in for years on years to come because they had these guys locked up. Well, Kevin Durant locked up, and the ticket prices are insane. So people, I'm sure, are trying to get out of those. But yeah, that's a bad situation. We'll monitor that. I'm sure tomorrow with Dom, you guys will do a lot of football.
Yeah.
A lot more football. We didn't have time today. I'll say this. Daniel Jones struggled today. There was actually a point where they put Tyrod Taylor in for a play or two. There was a big fight as well at Giants camp, which I actually like that. And the other thing with the Jets, Mekhi Becton left practice early due to an injury with his knee that was surgically repaired on. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I don't think Mekhi Becton will really ever play an impactful role for the New York Jets again. But that's just my take.
My hot take. Well, I don't think it's even a hot take. I think
it's not.
It's. I don't think Becton's going to make a huge impact for the New York Jets, and that's a shame. But that's just the way it is. And with the Giants, I think this is Daniel Jones' last year, and I just don't see the way the Giants are going to give that guy a multi-year extension. And it's also, and the main reason is I don't trust Jones mentally, and this is not their guy. This is not Jones Shane and Brian Dable's guy. This is no pressure on those people.
We're going to see what happens. Well, I think the Giants will be better than people think, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Here's my final thing.
Please. The clock only stopped. The clock don't stop.
Anthony Rizzo, happy birthday. We need you back as soon as possible. Thank you.
Love Rizzo. Happy birthday, Rizzo.
Great guy.
Thank you for listening to WHPC Sports Talk. I'm Michael Merlo. For Anthony Deus, Matt Leonard, and Ross Levine, you were listening to WHPC Sports Talk. Have a great rest of the night, everybody.